Yeah.
What guitar you got with you?
This is a G&L that they made for me. I love the color of it because I always like this color, the kind of Fender TV color.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, it was so good to see you on here today. We're super excited to have you on with us.
Thanks
Immediate
very
fan,
much.
and the documentary is amazing. The new album's great. You got to be so excited right now that's some good spotlight right now, right?
Well, we're very happy to have received, to get this kind of attention for us, since we've all known each other for forever and ever, and we've all been playing together forever, and we are a family, we're brothers for sure. So
Hmm.
it's gratifying. Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah. And was it hard to kind of open up your life a little bit because you've always done so well supporting everyone else, but now the spotlight is definitely on you.
Well, I'll tell you, with all of us, the same thing. You can't shut us up. So we got no problem, talking about ourselves. We're very proud of what we've done and who we've worked with, and we're glad to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of which, of course, people all the time probably ask you about James Taylor, Carole King, Crosby, Stills and Nash, all the great people that you've worked with. Who is it that you keep hearing the most about that people want to know the most about?
Well, that's a good question. Basically, it's James and Carol, certainly that. But who else do they ask? Who they don't ask me about enough. The questions I don't get asked enough is about Billy Joel or Neil Young
Yeah.
or Boz Scaggs. All great artists, but nobody ever talks to me about
Yeah.
them.
Well, of course, as we just got back from New York, I know you're there. Billy Joel, one of our favorite New Yorkers. What a great guy to work with, right?
Oh, fantastic! Great, brilliantly. I mean, everybody knows what a brilliant talent he is. But I really didn't own any Billy Joel records when I started working with him, so I was aware of what I heard on the radio and knew he was very good. But he is better than very good. He's an astonishing musician and singer and writer. I mean, really fantastic, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I
Hmm.
was very happy to work with him, and hilarious. He's also very funny and charming.
Very funny. Yeah, and then of course, one of the things we hear songs that you played on all the time, and then it's got to be interesting for you when you go to the grocery store, the mall, the just turn on the radio, there you are, right?
Right. Yeah, it is. It's been that way forever and ever. When they first started playing, when "It's Too Late" by Carol was a big hit, it was everywhere, ubiquitous, and it was everywhere. So I used to listen. I used to have to hear my guitar solo, my little guitar solo on there, for a million years, and I didn't like it. I said, God, I could have done better. I could have played a better solo than that. But now I've grown used to it. It actually is very good for the song. It fits the song. The mood of that solo fits the song. So now I dig why it works. And it
Yeah,
never would have gotten past Carol or Lou if it was no good.
that's true. Well, and then decades later, of course, we hear your guitar all over the place in Blaze of Glory with John Bon Jovi. Right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. Nobody ever mentions that album either. We had a ball making that record. So much fun.
Yeah, that's great. Well, people, of course, have been looking up to you for years and thinking, see, that's what I want to do, but you just make it look easy. What kind of advice do you give to musicians that want to follow in your footsteps?
Well, it's a very different world now than it was when I was coming up. All hell was breaking loose in the late '60s and early '70s, and I would happen to be at the right place at the right time. It seems to me right now, I don't know if there is a right place or a right time for young artists. It's incredibly difficult. What I would suggest to anybody is think locally. Don't try to go to LA or Nashville and make it, man, because you won't. All right? You know how many guitar players there are in Nashville and they're all better than you? Millions, okay? So I would say think locally. Think locally. Start a band and be the best band within 10 miles radius. Then the best band within 50 miles radius. Then the best band within 250 miles radius. Start local. That's what I would suggest. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You know,
Sorry to interrupt. If you're playing original material, if you really want to make money, start a cover band.
yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, so my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. Probably remember him. And of course, he wanted me to ask you your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for
Oh boy, let me see. I don't know if I could compare it to a football Hail Mary,
you?
but I would say certainly. Oh, geez, There's been a lot of those kind of moments, but it wasn't a matter of do or die. It was a matter of walking into an incredibly great situation. So it's not really a good analogy comparing it to a Hail Mary pass. But certainly working with Don Henley was opened a tremendous amount of doors for me and was a huge boost for me and my music and my ability to produce and write.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I guess that could be considered a major turning point, certainly.
Yeah. Well, we love Don. He's a local here in Dallas,
She
and then
is,
of
that's right.
course, we got to ask you about your favorite songs that you played on with him.
Hmm. Well, there's a bunch of them. Obviously, the ones I wrote, like Dirty Laundry, and there's one that sounds really good. It's got a lot of guitars on it called "I Will Not Go Quietly," which
Yeah,
is on his "End of the Innocence," and that's really rocking that thing. And it's all guitars, and so I had a lot of fun doing that. And
mm,
I think there's some good guitar playing on that. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Well, part of it is your mindset, and we talk about that on the show, and sometimes creative types you're not feeling it, but every day you have to be there and be present and feel it. What do you keep in mind that keeps you on the right path always?
Well, it's the same as all other musicians. It's a love of music and a love of playing and a love of playing with other musicians.
Hmm.
And that's what I concentrate on is finding that which connects to me and then participating in it not just as a gig. It's I'm not a garbage collector. This is a creative process, and you've got to get into it with your heart and your soul if you really want to come up with something terrific.
That's
Uh,
right.
yeah.
Well, and of course, we've got the new album for me. That's got to be so much fun, just working on that with those guys, and those sessions just look like fun with you guys.
Hmm. You're talking about immediate family?
Yeah. Hmm.
Those are, like I said, we're all, those are my best friends. I've known all
Yeah.
those guys for 50 years,
Hmm.
It's like falling off a log. We have a great time together, and we know what to play. We know how to play with each other. You
Yeah.
know, we know how to be in a band, and we know how to play music with each other
Yeah.
because of all the experience we've had.
Yeah. Well, I know touring is probably hard to assemble everybody, but will we get some kind of tour, or maybe even some more shows coming up soon?
Well, I hope so, but as you know, the touring industry is a very difficult situation here, and you've got to
Hmm.
make a certain amount of money to make it worthwhile.
Hmm.
Unfortunately for us, most of the musicians in immediate family are some of the most famous musicians and sought after musicians in the world.
Hmm.
Russ Kunkel, Lee Sklar, Waddy, they're at the top of the top. And so they're always working. Now I do it less because I'm a songwriter more than anything else. I
Hmm.
stopped doing sessions a long time ago
Yeah.
uh, and concentrate on songwriting. And that's been my
Hmm.
main situation. I love to play live and I love to play with the band, but it's difficult to work around all of it when the fellas are out making more money than they can make with the band. You dig? They're making more money. Waddy Wachtel is making more money as Stevie Nicks' musical director than he
Hmm.
is as a member of immediate family. And these guys, they have people to support, So I get it, but it makes it difficult to tour. I'm hoping we will be doing more gigs. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what is it that you're hoping people will get out of the documentary besides, oh, that's really, really cool because there is such a, there's a good feeling and I believe a good message here.
Uh, it's about brotherhood and family.
Yeah.
It's about creating a family. You have your nuclear family that you're born with, and then you have the
Hmm.
family you kind of choose as your life goes on. You put together the people that you find yourself surrounded with, and that becomes what we call the immediate family, the next generation of family, as it were. And that's what the guys are to me, and then I am to them. So really, that's what it's all about. Is a
No,
family
I love that.
situation. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question.
No,
Uh,
no, absolutely. Hmm. And then of course, people also ask you about sort of legendary studio sessions. Do you have a good memory or story from a certain time that was just it's almost hard to believe that it happened?
well, how much time do you have?
We
Do you have
yeah,
several hours? Because
yeah.
I've been lucky enough, and like we all have, lucky enough
Yeah.
to have done some amazing work with some amazing people and walked into some really terrific situations. So it's brilliant. Let me see if I can think of. Well, there was one I was playing on a Bob Dylan album called "Shot of Love," and my friends Jim Keltner and Tim Drummond got me on that date. And so I went down there and sat in and was playing, along with the fellas there. It's funny, when I came in, I had just never met Bob before, so I said, "Don't worry, Bob, I won't get in the way." I said, and then he said, "Well, then what's the point of you being here?" I said, "Okay, I get it." So then I plunged ahead with, and played whatever I wanted to play, whatever. I saw what he meant exactly. But one of the memorable things about that was the second or third day we were rehearsing. He had a rehearsal place in Santa Monica, a loft. Okay, so I went down there with and all the other fellows were there. Ben Montench was there, and we were standing by the piano. And here comes Bob. He walks in. He says, "Oh, I wrote this tune last night." He sits down and he plays us "Lenny Bruce is Dead." Now, a lot of people don't know about that song, but it is a fantastic, brilliant song. Ben and I were astonished that this guy could just come back after one night off, come back with this incredible song, And those kind of things happen when you're working with geniuses,
Yeah, I love that.
That's just one of many.
Right, yeah. Well, so what are we going to hear coming up next from you then?
Well, I'm in the process of writing now. I'm doing more writing, and I'm writing a lot of instrumental music at this point. That's what I'm feeling. I have a few songs going. And most of the songs I'm writing now are blues oriented, not blues oriented, but blues. When I say blues, I don't mean 12-bar blues. I mean bluesy,
Good.
And in order to, I'm hoping to sell some of these tunes or convince some of our great young blues.
Jackson Brown.
Well, you got to answer for Jackson Brown.
No, I'll call him back. What was I going to say? So I'm trying to create material for this generation of young blues artists. Because everybody needs material, One of the weakest parts of blues, modern blues, is the songwriting.
Yeah.
Because the playing is outstanding, as we know.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's where I come in, I hope.
As someone that was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi, home of the blues, I definitely appreciate that.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
That is the home of the blues for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we're so excited to tell everybody to check out the documentary and check out the album. We're going to let you call Jackson Brown back, and look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.
Great, man. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for all the years of great music. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.